they were made for Louis XIV.
Every piece starts at $15,000.
Taste is just like a skill. It actually was filmed in 38 different Hollywood movies. The whole concept of vintage curation is to mix it with the modern. Most of the unique pieces are the dirtiest, ugliest piece in the corner. It's always better to say yes and regret that you did it in a way than to every time remember about the moment, blame yourself that you didn't do it.
Today, I'm meeting an incredible woman who's turning vintage decor into the art. Kati Haim. She's an interior stylist, vintage collector, mom of 3, and someone who truly knows how to make space feel special. Hi, my dear.
How are you?
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
Thank you.
Come in.
Katyusha, thank you so much. Why we are here in such a beautiful place?
It's an incredible place, it's true. Well, I chose this place because this place truly represents what I love, what I do, and I am just honestly amazed by the owners and what an incredible job has been done here. They curated a beautiful place, and I cannot wait to show you around and tell you about all of the pieces that I love here.
So this is the vintage store?
Not exactly. They do carry a lot of vintage and antique pieces, art pieces as well, but they also represent a lot of luxury, one-of-a-kind, timeless designers that you will probably not find in any, store just, walking around Miami.
Why don't we see your favorite pieces here?
Oh, absolutely. Let me show you. So this sculpture is by Oriano Galloni. It's an Italian sculptor. He often works with human body and, he explores different emotions and his works are absolutely incredible. It's made with marble and several different grades of wood. He incorporates a lot of different elements. This is truly one-of-a-kind pieces. He has them in a smaller version right here. Mm-hmm. So if you want to decorate your house with something that no one, or at least little people will have, that's definitely the place to get those pieces, and that's the sculptor to get. Next one, I think it's right there.
Okay, that's an interesting piece.
It is indeed. So this furniture piece is by Decidem. It's a Swiss company. They have been around since 1960s. They create one-of-a-kind, also timeless avant-garde pieces. Very unique shapes. They all meant to be kind of, placed in different areas of the house. They can be put together as 4 or as 2. You can mix and match. You can play with it. There is also one right there. It's one of the biggest sofas that has been made. And as far as I know, it actually was filmed in 38 different Hollywood movies.
Would you put this in your house?
Absolutely. I love avant-garde. I know it's not for everyone, but I really do love this style. And the quality of the leather, truly mesmerizing.
So this place has exclusive rights to sell this?
Yes.
So this is the only place where clients can come and buy it?
I don't think it's the only place, but it's definitely one of very few places in Florida. So this piece, it's a lamp by Louis Paulsen, and Louis Paulsen has been around over 100 years. They are a Danish company, and they are one of the main manufacturers for the lighting. And obviously, they inspired so many other, mass productive brands to create something similar, because I'm sure you saw the styles maybe somewhere in the cheaper versions, but they are the father and the mother of this style and of this specific model.
What is so special about?
So they play with the whole idea of light and shadow, and all of their pieces, as you see, they were the originals. The manufacturing company was established in 1879, if I'm not mistaken, or 78. So obviously they were one of the first ones to create the modern version of light like you see it. Today we're looking at that and, we see it in IKEA and, in many other places, but they were not existent before. So they were the first one of the first ones. And obviously Danish quality. I mean,
I see the details.
Yes.
Look at the
chrome is in now. So whatever you get in chrome, that's a good piece to put in the house now.
So I see this store has lots of unique, exclusive pieces.
Yes, so they do carry a lot of exclusive contracts with brands like Lalique and Baccarat, but obviously they do have very unique pieces as far as like collections are repeated, right? But the colors, the materials, it's not something that the brand will repeat, you know, from year to year. So they do carry the pieces that you can also only find in here. They also represent the Trudon candles. Those candles are very famous because they were made for Louis XIV, and that was many years
How much
ago.
is that candle? It's like 600, right?
Some of them are 600, but some of them very affordable price, around 200 you can find, I believe. The pricing actually for the candles ran very good in here. Oh my God, look who is coming here. This is Jose Aguilera, one of the owners at Curated Art. We're so happy to see you, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
No, thank you, Kati, for coming, and it's such a pleasure having you both here. So talented and beautiful, and I love that you thought about us, and you remember from all the times that you have visited us in the past of our showroom, and you know, we are very happy that you chose us to present, you know, all our different brands and our concept and our beautiful showroom to all your followers and all your friends. But thank you so much for coming from the bottom of my heart.
Absolutely, no, thank you. We actually were talking about the price of the couch, the sede, and I don't know the price.
The terrazzo.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a beautiful piece. It was designed in the 1960s. Very iconic. Whoever is, you know, into beauty and aesthetic and design and luxury and mid-century, you know, that's a piece, a statement piece, definitely a conversation, very loungy. And you know, that's that particular one. There are two pieces. What you see is two pieces combined. So a lot of our clients, they do 4 pieces back to back, or they do 4 pieces linear, or you can do 6 pieces all mixed together to create, I call it a playground, because it's a very, it's family and friendly, you know, it's playful. But that the way you see that sofa there are 2 pieces, but individually, every piece starts at $15,000, I will say. But it all varies depending on the customization that we do, because all different finishes and different fabrics, there's like more than 150 types of leathers that we do, colors and textures and upholstery and that we can do, so that changes the pricing a little bit. But I will say the one we have there is approximately $15,000.
Is it difficult to please Miami customer?
Well, Miami clients are a little different. I was talking to Katie a little earlier today, and I was telling her that Miami has changed tremendously for the past few years. We've been seeing a lot of New Yorker clients from California, from Europe, Italians, a lot of French that now they live either full-time or half the time here in Miami. So that makes it a little easier for us, because these are clients that they come with that European mentality of transforming a space with a more eclectic aesthetic. And that's what we're known for. We're known for incorporating one-of-a-kind, very unique pieces. We believe in timeless. We're not so into trendy. We believe that clients need to invest their money on pieces that they're always going to look beautiful. They're always going to look current. It doesn't matter if the company has been established for 200 years, 300 years. You know, these are trusted brands that we represent. So going back to your question, it's not so hard anymore, because Miami was well known for being into white boxes, you know, and everything white and nothing special, no statement piece, no conversation piece incorporated. And Miami was very about, my neighbor has it, I want it. But now I think that culturally, I think we have evolved and we are on a different level tremendously.
What about vintage pieces? Where are you getting them and how you putting the collection together at your store? So
for vintage pieces, we travel a lot. Not every vintage piece it's important, and not every antique piece it's good. You know, there are vintage and antique pieces that the craftsmanship was not the best. So we travel a lot. We're to Europe. That's the main source. And when we travel to Europe, we make sure that every piece that we find It's very special that the carving, you know, depending on the time and the period, that is authentic. But I will say we source mostly all our pieces from Italy, France, mainly.
Your store is like a jewelry box.
Thank
Every
you.
piece is so cute and beautiful and unique. I want everything.
Thank you, and I'm happy that we speak the same language and that you have my same taste. But it's such a pleasure having you here today, and please feel home. Walk around. I know everywhere you look, you're gonna find something new,
What is
something
this?
unique. So this is a piece from Oriano Galloni. It's a very interesting piece because he's not known for this aesthetic. But the moment I saw this piece, I actually purchased this piece for myself because I'm also a collector of his. We've been collecting his pieces for many years, but I have learned through the journey of owning this showroom and been doing this for many years that I don't get attached to pieces anymore. At some point I have to let them go, and they should go to a new home and a new owner and make that owner happy the same way he used to make me happy. So this piece, I bought it from Oriano Galloni. He's from Carrara, Italy, and the carving, you know, it's all hand polished, hand carved. He's well known for the transitions from different woods to aluminum to different types of stone. He's well known for the Carrara marble, because he's from Carrara, Italy. But this is an exquisite piece. It's from his collection Metamorphoses, which is incredible. And but I welcome, you know, your followers to visit our showroom so we can show them more of his pieces. And again, everywhere you look, you're gonna find something different. You're gonna learn. A lot of my clients, the feedback is that coming here is like traveling, because you have so many different pieces and so many different corners here that I have descriptions for everything, telling a little bit about the history and also about my contemporary brands that I represent, which are more than 150 brands.
And to be able to collect all these beautiful pieces, you have education of art? Did you study art?
So I've always liked art. Actually, my partner Victor, who is not here today, but my partner Victor has been an interior designer for more than 30 years. When I met him, I'm a psychologist, and that's my profession. I'm an organizational psychologist. And but I have always enjoyed art. I have always have a good taste. People say I have appreciation for beauty. And I think I bring a different vision to the business. Victor and I established this business 6 years ago together. It was our vision together, and we make it happen. We made it happen, and it's been evolving throughout the years to this magnitude. And our goal is for us to keep growing and to be able to offer something that doesn't exist to our designer clients, our end clients, to offer them something that they have never seen before, that they have access to be able to incorporate into their homes. Thank you again, and please enjoy.
So what is the secret when you're working with a customer to make vintage pieces to work in modern spaces?
The whole concept of vintage curation is to mix it with the modern, because we obviously don't live in castles, you know? We don't live in those, I mean, some people do, but the majority of people, they do not live in those grandeur houses. They, you know, live in an apartment, or they live in a house, but maybe not as big as the castle, right? So, but you do have a personality, and you do want to bring something special to your space. And if you just in general appreciate history and art, and you do want to own something that not every single person own, that's the key. You have to mix it, actually, and it looks extremely amazing in the place where you don't expect vintage to see it.
How do you know, when you go to those markets of vintage stores, how do you know that you found really, truly special vintage piece?
So most of the pieces that has value in it, they have to be signed or stamped, or there has to be a sign of a specific person making it. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't have any sign that it was handmade, not always, but most likely it doesn't have a value. That's first. Second of all, you will be surprised, but most of the unique pieces are the dirtiest, ugliest piece in the corner that no one wants.
Interesting. Why? The owners or people who are trying to sell, they don't want to clean and see actually what the brand made it?
Well, a lot of people don't know that they own a valuable piece. Some people simply, unfortunately, die or, just that
They do
things get
garage.
lost. They do garage sale or whatever, things get lost. A lot of stories that I heard that was actually inheriting, stuff from their relatives or friends or whatever. So pieces of decor, furniture, like they have the roots that we will never, trace, basically. But if you are thinking that the piece has a value, my advice is just get it, because a lot of times I would like the piece and I would just go in my head, should I take it, should I not take it, and then I will pass on it, and then I will have days and weeks where I regret not taking it. It's always better to take it and just, get it authenticated, or just, in general, maybe do a little bit of a research, but then just to regret not getting it.
Let's talk about your website, Katyn Dom, which is cool name. I like it. I like the concept. So you're working with the customers, and also you're building this platform where customers can go and shop.
Yes.
And find these pieces which you curated.
Correct. So the name Katyn Dom comes actually from my name and the meaning. In Russian it means Katyn, which is Kati's house. And the whole idea behind it was exactly for what you said, because I do work with clients, and I truly also enjoyed collecting some of the pieces throughout my life. Maybe not on this scale that we see here, because
maybe that will be the goal, actually, eventually.
That is the goal, but in general, I just collected certain pieces throughout my life, and I do love thrift shopping, vintage shopping, and it just came to me. I'm like, why not to resell it as well? And that's how I start collecting and curate pieces. And I create a website where the whole idea behind it today, because things evolving, I'm growing, is to not only have the vintage pieces there, but also to bring exclusive or maybe small artist works that you can incorporate in your design of the house or in the events, or you can rent it. You can, there are different possibilities.
So who are you working with? Which artist?
Well, as of now, the artists are only the one that I curated from the vintage collections. But I do want to create also under the brand Katyn Dom home decor pieces, maybe tableware. I do work on certain ideas. I did like some samples of the glass.
I saw the videos. Yeah, cool.
So, there are a lot of ideas. I'm working on it slowly, because when you're like one person kind of, doing everything, it's pretty hard. You need to have a good team if you want to grow. So we are doing it this year.
Amazing. Hopefully. I know you're traveling a lot. You've been in Japan, in Europe, in Vienna. I follow all your trips. Which was the most interesting vintage market you ever visited?
So when it comes to home decor, I would definitely say Europe, because this is the mecca of, furniture and decor. I mean, everything, all we have today initially came from Europe. So, but when it comes to clothing, because I, occasionally enjoy a little vintage find in the clothing, especially like brands, definitely Japan. They have the biggest vintage fashion resale market, I think, in the world. Yes, and the prices are very, very affordable, because first of all, yen compared to dollar is it dropped. So unfortunately, their economy wasn't doing that great last year. Hopefully, things will change. But for the tourists, that was amazing, because the prices were like almost, I don't want to say like half, but 30% cheaper than what you would get in the States.
Amazing. You lived in a different parts of the world, right? Did it shape your sense of style?
100%. I am from Russia. I was born in the city named Khabarovsk. For those who don't know, this is the capital of far eastern region of Russia, on a border with China. We literally could take 3-hour boat to China, and we actually did travel Asia a lot. And I grew up not in a, rich family. We were a pretty middle-class family, and of course, at the time, and with the interests that I had, you can only had what you had. You didn't really have options in clothing, in furniture, in whatever. You had what you had. So when I was younger, obviously, I liked, interesting, pretty things. I was partially raised by my grandma, so history and stories, it's a very big part of me and how I grew up. So I think that's where the whole idea of collecting vintage pieces coming from, and just in general why I always want to know the story behind an art piece, behind a person, behind a furniture piece. It's really deeply important for me. Then I came to the United States. I lived in Philadelphia, and as I mentioned to you before, that was a completely different circumstances. After I got married, I moved to the Caribbean. There, I truly fall in love with Caribbean architecture, which is very vibrant, a lot of colors, very cultural. And we ended up in Miami in 2016. And Miami, it's just a big part of everything. So my interests, my tastes, they did change throughout my whole life. And what I like today, a mix of all things I saw and, what is really important for me.
Okay, so what do you think about Miami? Do you like living here?
As we spoke with Jose before, I love Miami, but the love happened not at first sight, not like with my husband.
Okay.
No, it took me good 2-3 years to really understand and fall in love with Miami. Now, anywhere we go, anywhere we travel, I always tell my husband, this place is nice, and I probably could live in here too because I just truly can live anywhere, but it's not Miami. Like, there is no place like Miami. I truly feel here home, and...
Me too.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's the best place on earth to live, to raise kids, to raise family, to have fun, and we miss, certain things here and there, but overall, those are not the things, to be a reason to move out of here, because just the quality of life you get here, you cannot compare it to anything else.
Yeah, the weather, right?
100%.
If you want to party, you can party. If you don't want to party, you don't have to party. You can do meditation. The mix, everything on a plate, right? We can choose.
Yes.
The only thing what I'm missing is the food. Europe, it's much better for me.
100%. Listen, in general, American food, it's not always the best quality, unfortunately. But hopefully things will change now,
Yeah. So what do you think about Miami community?
It's a very tricky question because on one hand, it's very warm and inviting because it's a lot of Latin culture in here from South America, and South American people, they're very warm people, very welcoming. On the other hand, I'm not any Hispanic, heritage. So for me, sometimes it's hard to understand certain things. However, I really love it, and I'm always, here to learn. I'm not eager to say I don't know something. I tried to learn Spanish probably like 5 times. I had a teacher. I don't know, it just doesn't stick with me. It just doesn't stick. I don't know why. Because the language itself, it's not really hard. Like, it's similar to English, but I don't know. It's not there.
Majority of your friends are Russian speaking or no?
So I would say it's a very good mix. I have my group who is very close to me. They are Russian speaking, and I have a group of friends that I found in here. They are actually Israelis. My husband is Israeli, so I have a big Israeli community.
Do you speak Hebrew?
I understand Hebrew. I can speak it. I am not fluent in it, but I would say I can, pretty much explain myself in Hebrew. And if I moved to Israel today, in 2 months, I would be very fluent.
I heard that it's an amazing country.
It is. I love Israel.
Tel Aviv.
No, well, I love Tel Aviv, but my husband is not from Tel Aviv, so he doesn't really know Tel Aviv the way probably, some Israelis know it. He actually is from Jerusalem. So
I've been there, actually.
we lived in, well, not lived, but when we traveled, we stayed in, at his parents' house. So I know Jerusalem very well. Not probably the place I would move, but I love the north of Israel. I love, the Golan Heights. I love the Tiberias. Like,
You took your husband to Russia?
no.
Oh, he never been in Russia? That's interesting. Why?
Well, when we met, that was exactly the time when I was able to travel for the first time in 2 years since I moved to America. So I went to Russia, right, like in the border before I moved to him. So I went there, it was in 2013. And since then, we just started a family. So things, started to happen pretty quickly. We had a first child, then, we had a second child, we had a third child. So, I have a lot of kids, I know. And, with small kids, and it wasn't the time really to travel there. We would, prefer other locations. And, things changed a little bit in the past couple of years. So now we are very hopeful that maybe hopefully soon we can go and visit.
So you converted to another religion, right?
Yes, I'm Jewish now. I wasn't born Jewish. I converted. That was a very long and complicated process, but it's the best decision I made.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Why?
Because raising family in Jewish traditions is truly something special. We are not very religious people in general, but the traditions that we observe, I think that makes our family united, and I'm very happy that that's exactly what I did.
Oh, so you do Shabbat every Friday?
I can't say that we have it every Friday, like in my home. We try to do our best. We try to do it as many times as we can. Sometimes it doesn't happen exactly that way. But the beauty of Jewish religion is that you can actually always do better. And you can always, pick and choose what they say. Mitzvah is something, it's like a good deed. So you can choose your good deed, slowly and surely. Let's say you take small steps. You choose to do, Shabbats this week. If it doesn't work, fine. Let me choose another good deed that I can do better this week. You can always evolve and get better.
So let's go back to the interior design. So interior styling is very personal thing. So have you ever had like a wild request, or you would say, oh my God, that's going to be a difficult client? How do you choose who you're working with?
Well, my rule in life, I never say no to an opportunity. So this is how I live. And that's, I think, the approach I am really teaching my kids. You don't say no to any opportunity that comes your way, because
I love it.
It's always better to say yes and regret that you did it in a way than to every time remember about the moment and, blame yourself that you didn't do it.
Yeah.
So I do not choose the clients. Clients choose me.
Mm-hmm.
They come to me because of me. They like what I do. They see what I do. I do social media, so they more or less understand what I'm doing and the style I'm doing, and they feel connected to it, and they come to me. And, I never had, any like negative story to tell you, honestly. Crazy. Listen, every client is a story. Every client is a situation. And
situation.
It is, because, everyone comes with a different requests. Yes. So, if one client needs, something extravagant, another one will ask me to, do complete opposite. So the whole idea behind it is that you need to understand the person. You need to be, in a way, a psychologist.
Yes, actually.
Yes, and you sometimes just need to show a person that he already has it. Sometimes, he has what it takes to, to have a beautiful house. Maybe he just needs a little push.
Yeah.
So,
what do you think? Majority of people have taste or not?
Taste is not something you're born with. And that's something I learned from a lot of different people, that taste is just like a skill. You go to gym and you build your muscles, right? So the same thing with a taste. It's your muscle, and you have to, exercise to grow it, or, to keep it in tone and shape. You have to always have a visual exercising. You have to read books, you have to look at art, you have to look at other people's spaces, you have to, search an Instagram page, a Pinterest board, you have to talk to, someone who inspires you, you have to travel. That's all of the skills that will bring your taste to the point that, you're comfortable with. So taste is not something you're born with. Taste is definitely something you can get. And I also believe there is no such a thing as a good taste or bad taste. We all have just different tastes, and it, something that I will like, most likely you will not like, and vice versa. Some things you will admire, I would be like, oh my God. So taste is a personal thing. Whatever is in you, that's what's your taste.
How important art in your family?
So I do take them to museums any opportunity I have. My husband, he's not so thrilled about it because he has to, be dragged with us most of the times, because obviously most of the museums we go, it's when we travel. Because here in Miami, we do have options, but we are pretty limited in here. So whatever was for their age, appropriate that I thought of, like they already been here. So when we travel, I do drag the whole family, for a whole museum trip. They do not, get very excited most of the times, but I think that's exactly what I told you about, like visual, like exercising. I'm this type of mom. I'm like, I don't care. You do what you have to do, and that's what it is, and that's what I said. So.
What is your sign?
I'm Capricorn.
Capricorn. No, but your energy is, I love it. Yeah.
The kids don't like us.
No, they're going to be thankful.
I know.
100%.
I know. And that's why I always tell them, you're going to thank me one day. I sound like this classical, like Eastern European mom who I also had, and I always was like, no, I will never say thank you for that. But I do now, today, as me as a grown-up, like, thank God for what, I was installed, like my mom installed in me. Those are the things that I live by today.
Are they looking at you and they know that you do social media? Are they proud of you that, oh, my mom has an Instagram?
No, they're having fun of me most of the times.
The babies?
Yeah, I mean, they're not babies. My oldest son is, he's going to be 10 years old in a month. My daughter, she's 8, and my baby, he's 6. So they're not like that small. And that's exactly why I am like now more investing in myself, because now they're bigger and now I have more mobility, as I had before. As I mentioned, I used to be a real estate agent, like several years ago, and that was a tough time for me because the kids were younger and different dynamics. So they are, I don't know if they're proud of me in a sense of social media, because first of all, they're not exposed to Instagram.
But they see mommy with the cameras.
They do, and they having fun of me all the time. They're like, oh, again, like they don't like to participate in any,
videos. Pictures.
Unless it's something like funny, like whatever, like having fun of. But no, I try to do a couple of times with them, like kind of like a sit-down interview from the perspective of a grown-up and a child.
Yeah, I think it's a cool concept. I wanted to do the same with Lisa.
It's cool, but listen, you need to read your children. Like, for example, like with my daughter, I know like we can be a little bit more talkative. And the opposite, like with my sons, they're in sports, so they're very also like, active, and they can sit down and talk about, like life and art. Like they'll be just like, leave me alone. Like, let me go do what I want to do. Again, I'm not this mom who is like, no this, no that. Like, I'm very open to today's opportunities, because obviously kids growing up in a different era, they do have access to the phones, they do have access to iPads. Most of their homeworks is on the computer, so I'm not gonna, and their friends watching certain things, and like they want to discuss it with their friends. I remember myself like as a child, so I'm very open, but trying to limit it in a good way, and I am very concerned, and I'm like looking and hearing what they're watching. So anytime I hear something inappropriate that I would, you know, like not approve of, I let them know. I'm a cool mom, I can say it.
No. What Instagram, what social platforms means for you, and how do you think it's the importance of those platforms in your business?
It's extremely important. I mean, my whole work is like visual representation. So whatever person see, that's like what they want. So the whole idea is that they are exposed to what I'm doing. They're looking at it and they want to get either the same thing or similar. So social media is, as much as it can be very, you know,
Tiring,
but it's very important, and that's what actually like happened to me yesterday. I went to one of the social events here in Miami, which I promised myself that I will, you know, dedicate more time for that, because I think in the past I lost a lot of opportunities because I didn't attend it. But I was there and I was just thinking, oh my gosh, it's very tiring. Listen, it's a lot of energy. But you do meet cool people. You do meet a lot of people that you can possibly collaborate with, or just in general, like interesting people. Like, you know, you meet a lot of people, I'm sure you know.
The problem is I meet so many people, but I don't have time to continue our relationship. The time is so limited. I wake up and it's already time to go sleep, you know? And yeah, you meet those people, but we in Miami, it's such a big hub, so many opportunities, so many people. The problem is time. We need to choose. Okay, like at the end of the day, I always hang out with the same people.
Exactly.
Because you're kind of comfortable, maybe?
Yes. Listen, I feel trapped in the same trap. I mean, I don't know if it's a trap. I think it's maybe a good thing from one hand, but I agree with you. The quality of relationships here in Miami, it's very low, but not because, you know, people want to, you know, lower the quality, because it's simply non-stop social life. So it's very hard to maintain those social relationships. But again, listen, it's better to, you know, say yes to an opportunity to go than to regret that you didn't go.
So do you think Instagram, it's kind of a game?
If you take it as a game, it's a game, obviously, for you. But, you know, one thing, when I started social media, which was almost 2 years ago, I told myself that I want to be authentic. And if I don't feel like showing you today what happened to me today, and if I don't feel like telling you the truth, I'd rather not share it at all. Because I truly believe that when you go to a person's page and you feel connected, you do feel connected because a person is authentic and
100%.
is, you know, trustworthy. So a lot of people I follow, social media influencers, I only follow those who I truly feel connected and that they are real. And yes, Instagram is business for them, and for me partially too. But at the same time, they or me, like, we're not lying there. Like, I'm not saying something there that doesn't exist, you know? Like, I am, you know, you can a little bit exaggerate things, you know, here and there, but you are not completely lying, you know? And I think it's very important to be authentic, because same thing, you know, like, it was a time when Instagram filters were like so popular, like like I think all of us.
I admit I use filters every time.
So I mean, obviously me too, you know. And also I come from I was a photographer as well, so like I know Photoshop by hand. So it's a part of, you know, like editing is like what I love to do, as I told you. But you can sometimes feel very trapped in it, and you know, like I am really trying my best now, even if I film like a story or a video, and even if I don't like myself 100%, I'm like, that's okay. Like, that's okay. Like, you don't have to be all the time perfect, because I really hate this concept.
Your kids has Instagrams?
No.
No phones?
No, they have phones. Well, we did get phones because kind of in my situation, the kids are always fighting for things. I tried this approach where, okay, here you have one thing and deal with it and you share it. But it created more drama in the family and, you know, fights. And I understand that, you know, like they need to And they actually, my kids are like rarely fight. I don't know. We're just maybe because the age, even though they like one after another, but I don't know. They're pretty good with each other. But eventually, our choice was either to get each one a device or not to have devices at all. And let's be honest, like no devices at all. It's very. It's not gonna happen. They need to have a phone because my oldest son, he's 10 years old, so obviously he goes by himself a little bit here and there. He has to have a connection with me. But they do not have Instagram and they don't have TikTok. They do watch YouTube and YouTube Shorts.
What is your favorite spots in Miami?
Okay, so I will divide the spots into three categories. Three of my favorite cuisines. First, Italian. So for a good Italian food, you need to go to Casadona, or a new place that we recently visited, Mother Wolf in Design District. I really loved the interior. It's a beautiful Art Deco setup and the food was delicious. Then I am a sucker for a good French food. And the two places, probably the newly opened Claudie and a very, I don't know like how old is the place, but it's been for a while in Miami. It's Le Petit Maison. Great, great French food. And the last but not least is Japanese cuisine. For a good sushi, not so much for an atmosphere, but for a really good food, go to Kuro. It's in Hard Rock Hotel.
Oh yeah, I've been there. Mm-hmm.
I love this. If me and my husband want to have a casual day just to really good food, we go there. And another one, I don't know, like it's so many. Oh, you know what? I just discovered that at Faina they have a private omakase experience with a private chef in a very small bar. I didn't try it yet, but I actually made a reservation there in 2 weeks. So let's see.
How often you go for dates with your husband?
So we had a rule and we still have it. We just not so much follow it now because it's been, like this year, it's very chaotic, when it comes to work, but we have to go once a week. We have to go once a week.
I love it.
Once a week, no matter what. If my husband cannot go with me, I go with my girlfriends. It's a must. Every Saturday, I'm out. Kids bye.
Kids bye.
Yeah, just like that. And they know. They're like, okay.
Mommy's getting ready for a party.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's important for them to see that, as much as I'm with them every day, and obviously I don't look this dressy every single moment of my life. They see me a lot, no makeup and pajamas and whatever. But I think it's extremely important for the kids to see that mom dress up, that she put her makeup, that she, smell good, that she, go out there and they see me talking to people and, they see that we have friends and they see that, we love, to go to other people's houses. It's part of life and I want them to be social. I want them to be open to new experiences. And they do travel a lot with us, so they are exposed to a lot of different cuisines as well. I want them to try. I do have a problem with my oldest son. He's the most spoiled one when it comes to food, so he's a picky eater, but we're a work in progress.
We have so many restaurants in Miami, so many places to go. Why don't we go, not to the restaurant? No, why don't we go to museum?
Yes, I have one for you.
Okay.
Let's go?
Yeah.
Actually, as I told you, we do not have many options in Miami, but we do have really good ones, and let me take you to the one that's not so obvious.
And actually, I've never been there. Show me.
Let's go. Did you even know that there is a museum in here?
No, North Miami, no.
Okay, so let's go. I think you're actually going to really like it. It's a museum of contemporary art, so let's go.
Let's go. Very interesting blue. What do you think about it?
So this exhibition is actually by Andrea Chung. She explores Caribbean history, the history of slavery, colonization, and she creates very visually rich objects that you are not really expecting to see.
So you used to work at the museum. How was that experience? And which museum, which city?
Yes, so I worked at the Museum of Jewish History here in South Beach, Miami. It was a great experience. I started as a volunteer because I was doing a segment for my Instagram. I was discovering and talking about...
I remember that
Yes.
video. Look, I'm a big fan of you.
Well, yes, so I was talking about the historical architecture of Miami, and that building actually is one of the oldest buildings in Miami, and that's how I found out about the place. And I went there and I just met this amazing lady who worked there. She was actually also Russian-speaking, older Jewish lady, and I just fell in love with her, first of all, with her personality, but also I fell in love with just the space. And I was amazed that there is actually a place that's dedicated to Jewish history. And I started as a volunteer because I was just so, I felt like it was my calling.
Okay.
I love museums, I go a lot, and I don't know, I just wanted, I wanted to be there. Something was talking to me. And I worked as a volunteer for a certain time. I did part-time. Unfortunately, we couldn't figure out the terms where we can, where I can work full-time in there. So now whenever I have time, I still go as a volunteer. I can do a private tour, and I'm friends with all the staff. I love them. Jewish Museum.
What is your favorite artist?
Oh my God. I don't know. I have many. It's a very complex
If
question.
we're talking about legacy, what is your favorite? You're looking at the work and it's inspiring you?
Honestly, only in America, I actually started to appreciate our Russian painters, because only here I understood how hard their job was. When I talk about Russian painters, I'm talking mostly about those who capture the nature. And you're just looking at this today because, what is nature? You take a picture, it's it's like a picture. But to create a piece that exactly, copy one-to-one of what you actually see, it's incredibly hard. But again, I can give you millions of names of modern and not so modern, big names, and it's just it's too many people. But I love surrealism as well. I love complex story where I'm looking at the details and I don't understand what's going on, and I ask myself questions. So there are a few, but.
We have a museum of Dali not far. I think 3 hours away.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Florida?
Yeah.
I didn't know. See?
It's very
You
nice.
discovered something new for me. I don't know where.
So what is the difference between designer and stylist?
So interior designer is a very complex job. You usually have, a crew of, 2, 3 or more members, and each one has their own, responsibilities. And usually interior design, something that you either, you go big, you do a construction. So interior stylist is someone that can work with the interior designer or can work independently. I usually come to the picture when people want to, either add little details, or when they actually do not see a full picture and they need a completely new concept and they just need a vision. Or if I work with a designer, the designer does the construction part, and I come when it's, at the end of the project where they need to, just add those little va-va-voom details.
And very important question, how you manage work and being a mother?
So actually the whole subject of being a mom and establishing yourself in your 30s after you already had kids, it's something very important for me. And I think I started my social media because of that, because I wanted to prove to myself firstly that I can do that, because most of the people, and this is probably something I will recommend to my daughter, however, it doesn't mean she is going to take that path. But usually people, you know, they go to school, college, they find a profession, they find their calling, and they, you know, establish themselves, and then they do a family. I got married pretty early, and I had my kids pretty early, so I had the whole like family section kind of like, you know, in my early 20s. And, you know, in my 30s, this is the time for me to, you know, establish myself, to, you know, open a whole new person and show to the world a whole new person I am, because the woman I am today is not obviously the same 20-something-year-old girl with whatever dreams I had before. And yes, it's very hard to balance family, kids, and also husband. Listen, it's like a whole new, like, you know, situation. There is you as a mom, and there is you as a wife, and then there is you as your professional, and then you as a friend. You have all these different like faces in you, and you know, it's hard, but is time management. So I know the time my kids in school, that's my time to grind, to do what I want, you know, to go get it. And once they got back from school, it's only 3-4 hours until they go sleep. This 3-4 hours dedicated only to them, and nothing else, with very small exceptions. You know, nothing can be in between my time, and when it's their time, it's their time. And when it's my time to go out with my husband, the kids can cry as much as they want. I don't care. Like, that's our time. So you need to be very, you know, first of all, you need to be very specific in what you want in life. I want it all, so that's why I need to make it happen.
I like that. And you will have. What's something about Miami people don't talk enough about?
Like in a positive or a negative?
Let's do negative.
Negative. Okay, I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but I have to say that Miami, compared to many other states, you kind of have to beg people to work. And this is something not in any specific, you know, sphere. It's literally in every single business or whatever this is. It's very hard to motivate people to work in here. I think partially because, I mean, you live in paradise and it's so many, you know, great things to do other than work. But yes, that's probably the only negative side that I can say. Maybe a little bit of lack of a culture in the way that like we used to, as you know, like Eastern European people. But other than that, I mean, I'm not really sure. The prices are getting really high.
Oh yeah, no, the prices are insane. I agree, but because so many people come and business owners have opportunity to charge more, right?
So from one hand, I mean, like, it's good for them because, listen, it grows their business. On the other hand, like, for people who live here for a while, like, it's...
We feel the difference.
Yes, we feel the difference.
True. So you have a beautiful family, great relationship with your husband. So what is the key to have a healthy relationship which lasts?
It's a lot of things, but it's a full-time job on its own, honestly. But I think the core values are just, you know, be honest with each other. I don't lie to my husband. You know, like, there is no like white or whatever, like you call lie. So we trying to be really, you know, as open as we can with each other feelings, and respect, mutual respect. If you respect your partner, you from the beginning will not do certain things that can, you know, hurt him or, you know, something like that. And just, you know, open conversation. We talk a lot. Like, my husband, less obviously of a talkative person, but
Mine as well.
But listen, it's hard. You know, something also, like, I think people don't talk enough is men's mental health. I think with so much responsibility on a man, and with so much stress, it's really something important to, you know, keep in mind that even if he's a man, he still is a human, and he also has feelings and, you know, challenges. So
It's very sweet of you to even bring up this topic.
Because I feel like, you know,
I agree.
I know today we're like talking less about masculinity and all of that. And I think, again, everyone is like, just need to be the way, they feel comfortable with. And again, I'm not like, pushing any propaganda here or anything like that, but, strong men do have feelings. And this is something I think important to remember.
Are you happy today?
I am happy today. And I'm really trying to be happy every day. However, this is life. You cannot be possibly happy every single day. But with every challenge, there is always a bright side at the end of the tunnel, how they say. So I just think that we all have to always keep it positive, not go and let this negative energy sometimes, to suck you in.
When you choose a friend, right? What qualities you looking for? Like, again, we're all busy, we don't have time. If you will spend time with another person, what qualities are you looking for?
So me and my girlfriends, we're like pretty crazy. We are just, when we're together, when we spend time together, we're just doing silly stuff. We go crazy. We're partying, we're talking non-stop, we're eating good food. We're just looking for this, lightness that maybe you sometimes missing on everyday life, because you do have obviously a lot of responsibility as a parent, as a spouse, as a worker. And so when I choose to spend my time, with a friend or someone like I enjoy with, I'm looking for lightness. I'm looking for sincere joy. I'm not looking for any drama. All I want is a good time, positive vibes. And I am obviously looking for someone who, I'm not expecting to, stab me in the back. So, someone who I can trust.
Yeah, trust is a good word. So what are your next projects? Anything exciting coming up?
So I just finished styling actually a gallery display. I am also putting together a visual that I want to shoot with a couple of more bloggers. And I continue with, I have a weekly segment where I talk with an art advisor about certain art that we like. And in my nearest future, except all of the clients that I'm looking for to work with in the near future. By the way, guys, if you need a home styling, this is me. I am looking for you. So I also wanted to start a YouTube channel. You are actually a very inspiring example for me, because you also do a lot. And I also feel like in Miami, you cannot survive if you don't do 10 things at the same time. It's just it is what it is. If you really want to have a good quality life here, you have to learn how to figure it out and do 2-3 jobs. So I want to start a YouTube channel, and I want to do a weekly digest where I'm just gonna review the news in the interior design and art world that happened in the past week, and maybe talk specifically about certain designers, artists, someone who I really enjoy their works. I don't know, let's see.
What would be your dream client who you would be super happy to work with? Maybe somebody we know.
I honestly don't look at the clients from this point of view, just anyone who is positive and who is ready for an extreme makeover. I'm here for that, because I do love a good challenge.
Okay, we're wishing you good luck.
Thank you so much.
You're definitely talented, super interesting person, and you're gonna be doing amazing. Can't wait to see more of your work on your amazing Instagram channel and YouTube.
Thank you so much. So again, guys, go to my Instagram, follow me on Instagram. I really do put my heart and soul into social media, because again, I said it's, I'm trying to be authentic there. Follow Katya and, like, subscribe, share, and obviously leave a comment.
Thank you so much.